ever been to an air show, maybe here in India, maybe to somewhere in the United States, or maybe in Europe, or anywhere in the world. So awesome things happen there. The thrill, the excitement, the thunder, the supersonic blasts, and so on and so forth. But something very peculiar also happens there. This vapor cone, especially at places which are close to the sea, because the air there is quite moist. But how exactly is this vapor cone formed? And in this video, we'll find out and tell you all about it. So let's go. The formation of the vapor cone is often explained quite simply. It's the aircraft going supersonic, but that is not exactly the reason, or wave drag. Well, indirectly, the wave drag is responsible for the vapor cone, but not exactly. So, let's imagine an aircraft going at subsonic speeds. At this point, the aircraft and the air flowing over it are all at subsonic speed. Now it accelerates and the aircraft now is in transonic range. The transonic range is when the air achieves local Mach number of the air is greater than Mach 1 or greater than Mach 1. So now we're gonna assume that the critical Mach number at this point is going to be somewhere 0.77, let's say. By the way, the critical Mach number is different for different aircraft. For a Hawker Hunter, it's lower. For a F-104 Starfighter, it's higher, of course, because it's made for high speeds. So when it achieves the critical Mach number, something happens. The air that is flowing over the leading edge of the wings becomes supersonic. Now, when it becomes supersonic, something interesting happens. The density, or the change in density, or lowering of the density, becomes more dominant than the increase in speed. Now, that happens until the density becomes so low that the transition from the supersonic to the subsonic flow, that is the air just in front of it, it becomes not gradual. See, at subsonic flow, the transition of the stream of air is gradual because it's all subsonic. But when the leading edge achieves supersonic speed, the air over it, it's not gradual. It does so in a shock, and it forms a shock wave. Now the pocket of supersonic flow is created with this wave. When you see the wave from the side, it's like a triangle. When you see it from the front, it's like a circle. Now, to best explain how this shock wave is formed, imagine taking a small marble and putting it in a glass of water. Now, if you put it slowly, it will sink down without forming any shock. But if you accelerate that same marble and you, it goes into the water, it creates a shock wave. Same is the process here, though. So a shock wave is created. When the shock wave is created, the coefficient of drag of the aircraft changes, and this is the divergence drag Mach number of the aircraft. So now something much more interesting happens. The air that is flowing at supersonic speeds achieves compressibility. Now the compressibility means that the air that is going towards the leading edge of the aircraft from the front is first compressed. But not just that, as soon as it's compressed, it starts expanding against this shock wave. And because the air is accelerating all around this shock wave, this does something very interesting still. It decreases the temperature of the boundary layer that has been formed over this shock wave. Now, when the air around the aircraft is moist enough, or it has enough humidity, what happens? Well, the humidity or the water vapor in the air around it condenses, and that's when the aircraft forms the vapor cloud. It is same as when you have squeezed a bottle of compressed air. Have you ever squeezed a bottle of compressed air? It's cold to the touch because the process of adiabatic cooling is happening, where the when the compressed air, when it comes out of the can, it becomes, well, it expands, it takes energy from the surrounding air, and that is why it is cooler to the touch. And kind of like that, the same thing is happening here. So the water the water vapor condenses, forming this perfect cone. Now, you would ask me that this kind of cloud is formed sometimes at very low speeds. Of course it can. See, adiabatic cooling is not dependent on supersonic speeds or phenomenon. It's dependent on the difference of pressure, and the difference of pressure can occur anywhere. For example, one pocket of the aircraft behind the wings has maybe lower pressure, maybe like for the in front of the aircraft, and there the some type of condensation, spontaneous condensation might happen. So that's why the vapor cone or these clouds are formed quite frequently on aircraft that are operating near the sea, and especially Navy aircraft, and it's less common for the aircrafts of the Air Force that operated on land to see these things, except maybe you are in Florida. So now you know that how exactly this vapor cone is formed. So the next time you go to an air show and someone asks you, oh, that's a cool aircraft, well, how the hell it's producing clouds? So you can answer that. Now, if you want more videos like this, you can subscribe, like, and comment, and especially give us new ideas for new videos. Until then, we'll see you in the next video. And Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, goodbye and good luck.